So I'm filming these videos in real time. This is actually filmed today as I speak. So today I'm sharing a really amazing and useful candle spell that can be used in all sorts of situations. But for me, I'm going to share other things as well, because this is my real life practice that you're seeing. I have got 2 jars here. This links to yesterday's glamour video that I made, where I mentioned I'm in the worst physical health I've ever been in at the moment. Trauma has brought about a really huge weight gain, brought about over the last 7 years. And I think at this time of year, when we're thinking about goal setting, we do start thinking about things like, do we want to lose weight? Do we want to become more healthy? But I'm taking you also back to my Glimmer Globe video, where I spoke about never wanting to reject parts of me again. The heavier part of me and the little girl part of me that got taught to eat and to overeat for protection. I never want to feel like I'm trying to eradicate that part of me. She did such an amazing job keeping me safe in the trauma of the last decade. When my world fell apart and the safest, most nurturing places of my life turned out to be the most toxic and poisonous, that little girl gave me sugar and cakes and bread and carbs to eat to stop me falling apart, to self-protect. And you can see by all of these beads that represent the weight that I now have to lose, that little part of me, that little 7-year-old, did the most amazing job. And I love her. I don't want her to feel rejected or wrong. She's in the place she is with not the best coping strategies, because she was rejected and unloved and made to feel wrong. I'm not going to do that to her as well. So these 2 jars represent I love you then, I love you now, I'll love you forever. I want that 7-year-old girl to hear that and feel it. So these 2 jars, they do represent the weight that I have to lose. I'm just double checking numbers here, because when you boil it down, sometimes it is a numbers game, but it isn't a numbers game this time. I am using these charms and beads and butterflies for transformation to represent the moments of responsibility that little girl inside of me felt when she tried to keep me safe. And for every pound I lose, I want her to feel that she is handing me that amount of responsibility back. I've got this now. There is a loving adult in the room that loves her fat and will love her regardless. But these responsibilities are not hers to carry anymore. They're ours, and I've got this. This represents for me not so much weight, but responsibility heaped on the vulnerable and the unloved parts of me. I'm going to love this back into better habits so that I can choose the things I want to do in life. I want to get back to running. I want to get back to wild camping and hiking. I want to improve my heart health. I want to not develop diabetes. I have many health concerns going on now because of this weight gain. But for now, let's just focus on the amazing job that little part of me that turns me to food has done over the years. Let's write some glimmers for her Glimmer Globe. The first one says, I am so thankful for the 100 pieces of responsibility you decided to carry for me. Let's get her Glimmer Globe down to put that in 100 times that broken part of me tried to make me feel safe. How grateful am I for that? I am grateful for every pound overweight I am. I am grateful for the fact that I've kept going despite people's best efforts to stop me. I am grateful for the 100 pieces of myself that I now need to shed to choose better. Oh, writing glimmers to your younger self, it's just such an emotional thing. You don't realise till you actually write the words down. This one says, I'm grateful for the way you kept me safe and loved me. I think that sometimes excess weight is way more to do with self-love than it is to do with poor choices. If you are eating to protect, to keep safe, to stop the overwhelm, then that's a function of self-love too, not to be rejected. This is a reparenting note. It says you can choose new ways now and you won't get into trouble. That one made me really tear up writing. As did this reparenting glimmer, which says, I loved you then, now and always. Like I said, you don't realise till you put it into words and hand it to your doll in a glimmer just how much a hidden part of your subconscious needs to hear those words. The emotion laced in this exercise tells me that there is light penetrating those dark, dark shadows. This last glimmer actually causing an explosion of light and tears. As I write, you don't have to eat anymore to earn love. The release from writing that and handing it to my doll was so immense. So you can see here in real time in my practice, I'm thinking about discussions in that glamours video. I'm thinking about goal setting, which is really apt at this time of year in Yule. But I'm also thinking about the Glimmer Globe self-love spells that I was speaking about as well. And I hand it back to my doll. And it feels wonderful. So if, like me, for this new year you have some health goals, and perhaps that does include either weight loss or something that you can break down into steps, you could perhaps, like me, represent those steps with different beads in a jar. For me, there is a big journey here. If you have a goal that's going to take, say, 50 steps to get to, you could say put 50 beads in a jar to represent whatever goal it is you've got. Because I have such a long journey, I'm not going to focus on the whole jar at once. I'm going to do this 10 steps, 10 beads at a time. I'm going to ask that subconscious part of me that thinks I need to eat to be safe to hand over 10 pockets of responsibility to me to make better choices. I want to deburden that part of me that was so broken so early on, and that's where we get to the candle spell. So I think this candle spell that you can see I've got floating candles in my apothecary for is all to do with breaking down a goal and taking it step by step. And this is where these glass beads that I found in the charity shop for 50 pence a bag are also going to come into play. So floating candles, glass beads, this is all I need. I get a black bowl that I picked up in B&M for £3, this black bowl was. I'm going to choose one of the coloured candles. I'm going to choose blue for peace because I want this goal to be filled with peace. And then I've chosen this beautiful dark evergreen green colour, which is my favourite Yuletime colour. I'm going to choose 3 of those green candles, 3 for that idea of expansion into new stories around health and food and taking responsibility off my inner children and stepping up to be the adult in the room. I want to feel like my inner children are being engulfed in the love that they never received. I want this project to be more about that than anything to do with weight loss. Now, I have let some water soak in my rose quartz angel bottle. All I'm going to do, I'm going to cover the base of the bowl with these glass beads. That acts as kind of a illuminating, distorting kind of scrying mirror for me. I'm going to place on the floating candles and I'm going to light them, and I'm going to use this as a candle scrying bowl to give me answers on this journey as I travel it. Before I place the candles, those 10 beads, the first 10 pockets of responsibility, the first £10 to be worked on, are placed in the scrying bowl. We're going to look for some answers around these 10. We're going to meditate and scry to give thanks for these 10, to understand why my inner child needed them and to celebrate them. This isn't about losing weight, it's about celebrating the job it did for me. It isn't here for no reason, and I want to celebrate that reason. I want to celebrate its protection, and I want to teach my inner child that there is another way now. We can make different choices and as and when we please. If it suits us, we could even make the same choices. Before I move into a 10-minute scrying meditation with this spell, I am actually going to pull a Solitary Witch Oracle card just to see if there is an oracle message as well with this spell. I really thought the Solitary Witch would be a fantastic oracle to use. It's got keywords, key phrases, and this also is a solitary journey. I think any journey with your inner children or with reparenting, it is your story and your change of story. Even your journey towards goals, it's often very solitary, so it just seemed like the perfect oracle to use. And I spent absolutely ages shuffling, and would it release a card? It did not want to release a card at all, until finally one popped out. And can you even make this up? Look at this card. The Dance of Water. Of all the cards to come out with a water scrying spell where the light is set up to dance off glass beads, it felt like divine intervention before I'd even begun. So I turned off all the lights, set my timer for 10 minutes, and I just relaxed and scried into the bowl to see what images would form, what messages about these first 10, what messages for moving forward. And it was amazing. Images formed, stories were told within the glass beads. It was like having a portal to lots of crystal balls at the bottom of an ocean. It was incredible, and I highly recommend this for any goal that you're working with, to regularly revisit that goal with a water scrying meditation, a dance of water spell. When I finished, I just sat in awe. I was so blown away, not only by the experiences in the meditation itself, but also by this card and the write-up in the book. I won't go into that because that's just personal to my experience, whereas this is really showing you an experience that you could have. But it was amazing to pull an oracle card with it, and to get this one in particular, it felt like a divine message of yes, do this. So I've set up this goal, this spell, to be repeated with this oracle now on one of my spell shelves, and we will see how it goes. My self-love doll is there as well. You could do this, like I said, for any goal you have. All you need to do is to break that goal down into a certain number of steps and put the corresponding beads out, and then scry once a week around it and give thanks and spend time meditating on it. It might amaze you what story gets offered up in the dance of the water. So thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.